gonna be first up and running versus Bad Bunny. Rosie over in the back as a hunter. We got us a smoke as we got us a super hot point. What a name, dude. What a name. Flare down. Bad Bunny does get caught out with a flare down. It's gonna be a hunter's mark. Necro making sure to mark the rogues as soon as he sees them. Traps are getting thrown down. I think Bad Bunny should be able to see these. Had to dip temporarily. What's up, Chelsea? Coming back in. Fanned by Bad Bunny. Death Chakra to follow him. Gonna be kidney shot. Got himself a trinket. This is Bad. Got himself a bit of an evasion. Needs to see if he can go for a bit of the counter pressure. Full Death Chakra or Death Mark onto Necro. Is gonna go for a cloak and advantage. Trying to make sure he gets himself a clean reset. Necro still taking a bit of the damage. Cannot really take the dots off of him easily. Flare down. Even though it's a smoke bomb. Necro needs to go for a bit of damage of his own. Maybe healing. Instead, just goes full defense. But the Hunter's having to burn through everything right now. Well, Bad is just looking for an entirely new escape. As long as he's got no flare, he'll be fine. I do think maybe that felt like Cloak of Shadows might have been an overcommitment there. And I feel like Bad Bunny might be putting himself in a situation where Necro might have himself a bit of a chance. Hunter versus Rogue is a little bit of a weird matchup because Survival is in a really good spot. Marksman versus a Rogue. Not always, just because you don't have the same kit and the same like burst setup, and also you got the cast times for things. Knockback trap is at the ready though. Onto the Gorilla. Bad Bunny with a trinket. If you had a pet right now for a stun, that would have been perfect too. That's another thing I think you're missing. Blind onto Necro, as it's going to be Rogue setting up for a killer shot. Trees and trap to try to give yourself a bit of space. He's going to go for point blank aim shot. Instead of running away, Bad Bunny goes in for a shield. Plenty of damage. Big and Venom's going to be procs for Necro. Knock back to the Rogue yet again. Got himself the cloak proc and with a rapid fire right after. Rogue is super low. Necro taking a bit of that damage though. If you can get back over there, go for a couple of kill shots maybe. You might be golden. Needs to flare the Rogue out. Go road right after. Scatter to follow. This way you need to make the most amount of damage happen. Death Sharkum is in, but looks like Bad Bunny is going to be able to walk almost away with super hot. Making sure to flurry him down just to make the just to get the Rogue out of the game entirely. I'm losing my mind here, dude. Still, after that gambling break, still, chat. I'm still like, it's still fuzzy in my head. I'm not gonna lie. Super though, seeing Sensei walking in, that's going for some burst. But Monk, I think he's just gonna bail out behind the pillar. He could walk out. He could try to see if he can find the mage. But while he's got full cooldowns and an elemental, might just be one of those like take it slowly, take it easy. Last time these two fought, all Sensei needed to do is buy himself enough time until he had himself the perfect combo. Wait out the ice block, big burst setup, so he knows he can guarantee a kill onto Super every single time. He just got to get himself that opportunity to make it happen. In cap, Lexu knows he's going to be a blink, but instead it's going to be a trinket with a breath by the mages. Sensei just needs to get himself just a little bit more time, find that angle. If he can get himself a port maybe to escape out of this, he might be alright. Trying to go for a bit of heal. Shadow Meld has been used. Trying to see if he can walk in, but it's going to be freeze as well. The Glacier Spike damage is doing the numbers to win. Joins in with the Karma Raft. This was Super maybe goes in for a freeze. Trying to see if he can make a freeze happen. Might be an Icebox situation though. Maybe still a freeze into the Sensei, but he keeps walking away before the Snowdrift can really accumulate all of its, I think it is 5 stacks you gotta get, if not 4. Big damage out of Sensei though, trying to see if he can put Super Hot Boy under pressure, and it's gonna force him into an Ice Ball. Got himself the reset. That it was cooldowns out of Sensei though, but as long as he can get himself the proc with a Thunder Fist, a big kick of a Rising Sun kick, maybe a Fist of Fury to lock him down for just a moment, he might be a-okay. Super got himself plenty of distance, goes in for, was it alt? Looks like all the time, but not really. In cap before the Glacier can really go through. Trying to see if he can kind of coax him closer with a Ring of Peace, just booping him over in his direction. I like that. Trying to go for freeze, unable to port really quickly. If Super can get himself the proper freeze though, if he can go for a Glacial with a freeze, I think what you really need to do is get himself a full Ring of Frost on the Sensei off of a breath, then go in for Snowdrift, and then set up a big old Glacial as he gets frozen. Glacial spikes, then you get the beam, and you get all that damage in. That could be pretty good though. Sensei trying to see if he can escape it. Brain Frost doing a number though. Got himself plenty of protection. Just reducing damage quite greatly, but still taking big chunks out of your health either way though. Got yourself a little bit of healing. This is going to be a Nova around the corner. The mage trying to see if he can get an angle. Glacial Spike, nothing you can do to stop it. Trying to go for a heal. Getting interrupted. There goes the cloak procking. Got yourself mobility to maybe at least escape behind the pillar, but there's only so much you can really do in this type of a situation. As a student misses out for Sensei, trying to get himself out of a bad spot. Quick in cap, no trinket. Oh, actually, the thing coming up for Super Hot Boy real soon. Does go for the trinket. Snowdrift Karma, I think this is where he probably want to back out of that snow drift. Does have himself a freeze though. So trying to see if he can fight through Karma. Win his second maybe freeze. Does get the Nova. It is going to be censored. Looking to live this. Has himself dampened harm. May want to activate it at some point. How are you looking on the Port Brew, by the way? I don't know if you've used that or not yet. Super though, super low on health. Hold on a second. Does go for a bit of a reset. Sensei is quick in the draw to get back next to the guy. It's going to go for yet another jab. Big fist. And that's going to be probably Super with a touch of that down for the count. Well done. Sensei knew versus a mage, if he plays super carefully, he is going to eventually end up earning that victory. It's just going to be a matter of time. Just a matter of time. I think for Super, doing that Seavark freeze combo, right? Breath, Ring of Frost, as long as the monk doesn't have a trinket. Then you go for a Snowdrift into a big old glacial beam while you have full cooldowns going. Oh, I feel like that could probably one bang him super easily. But man, that's so rough. Sensei does go in for a bit of a when you get hit by explosive shot, because I think that's what it looked like, and you use a diffuse magic like that, do you put the explosive shot on the hunter? Is that what I saw? Is that what is supposed to happen? Because I expect for that thing to, like, for some reason my brain, it made sense like explosive shot wouldn't reflect back to the hunter. But why wouldn't it? It's a magic effect that explodes it for a while. Should fit. If the shoe fits, the shoe fits. It's going to be a trick out of Rosie. Will not have an out anymore. Does need to let up some kind of a big over Sensei. Looking for the harpoon. Big damage, potentially binding shot. I don't know if Sensei can leave. Does get to leave. Karma last second onto the bed. Better than nothing. Even if you can't help Karma the player, at least Karma in the bed so you get some defensive might be fine. Walking through binding shot though for Rosie. This is a perfect opportunity. Throwing in grenades. Maybe big damage. Got him so big one lobbing in. We're going to be kill shot to the mids for Sensei. Manic bench for Rosie. Sensei looking for the recovery. No trinket available. Not a single defensive available either. All he has is mobility right now. So if Rosie can maybe catch him, trip him up some way, somehow, maybe with a trap, maybe with a harpoon, is looking to maybe stop him with a tar trap, trying to see if he can stay on him as best possible. Gonna be yet another port for Sensei, trying to see if he can get some healing just to mitigate the explosive shot that comes right through him. Next death shock him is gonna be incredibly deadly. Do you even have an in-cap? Leg sweep coming up very soon. Biting shot to stop you in place. That's more grenades for the hunter. Got yourself plenty of distance. Guys gonna go for a quick yoink of the weapon just to make sure that those eagles flying in with the aspect of the eagle don't do work. In-cap, maybe a leg sweep right now. You got yourselves a win. Maybe there's a chance to try to somehow turn it around. No, just the defensive. Got himself even more defenses rolling in, trying to heal. All Rosa needs is line aside of you for a good bit. Just needs to be close enough, like a 40-yard range. You got no help whatsoever. A freezing trap would just stop you. The pen is so close to taking you down. Getting caught in the trap. I think it's just over for Sensei unless you somehow, some way do get to live stunning around the corner. It's just over. Man, as long as he can catch you on your approach from one pillar to the next, you are done. There's just not much you can really do. Monks are fantastic when it comes to movement, but survival hunters, I feel like, can have some great anti-movement mechanics that have just enough movement speed to keep up with you, and they can slow you down to just an absolute crippling crawl. It is so good. Just able to catch you with so much range damage. It is nutty. Rosie get himself a bit of a cover behind the pillar, got himself that camo. The much needed reset is there, at least trying to recuperate some cooldowns, because Affliction Warlocks, the only thing you can really do against this class is feign death at the right moment once you get the full set of dots on you, and that's it. But if those dots are rotting you and rolling down on you, eventually you do end up dying. There's just nothing you can really do in that situation. Kevin does get hit with a binding shot, getting caught in a bit of a bind himself right now, as Rosie trying to avoid the dots as best as he can. Kevin knows he wins this by dots. If he just puts up Corruption, Agony, UA at all, any one of those dots, if they last long enough on Rosie, he just wins by dots. Succubus is catching him for a second, trinket before he can really set up a big go. That is a wall out of Kevin though, so for Rosie trying to be as proactive as possible. I don't know if you're running Chimeric Poison or not versus Kevin, but he does go in for a Dark Glare. There's going to be a potentially faint death for Rosie, but looks like trying to delay it until some of the bigger dots and afflictions are on him. And if you can somehow hold out up until that moment, I think you might be okay. Try to slow down Kevin as best as you can. Binding shot, but look at that single drain. He just got himself a drain proc. The dots is still doing a number. Exil barely does anything. Trying to see if he can stop the Obliv for a moment. Gotta be a soul rot. Trying to make some damage happen. Just going all in and does it. I'm taking it. Rose had no help whatsoever. He's just down with a lava burst. Balan was not gonna let you out of there scot-free. Was not give you a chance to reset. You just barely survived an Affliction Warlock. This man is literally a survival hunter. He is going to survive to the very bitter end. He's not going to let you out of sight that easily. With Smoke versus Balan up next, trying to go for a quick kick, quick interrupt. And right now for Balan, all he needs is a bit of recovery. He got himself plenty of defenses to work with. Word onto the rogue. If you can find a way to keep the rogue away from the pillars, knock him way far out there, slow him, root them, whatever you need to, I think you eventually do win against the rogue. I feel like the pillar game is where the rogue wants to be. Flagellation, you are going to dip out of there as soon as you can. That's going to ramp up a bunch of damage for the rogue. Lots of shadow damage, lots of mastery. You don't really want to give him any of that. Ascendance up for Balan does have a trinket with a wall available. This is where you want to go for big damage, but no, look at that. Big secret technique out of smoke, all that shadow damage, the mastery and everything. Trying to see if you can escape the burn from the fire mages. A ring of fire does hit him, and it should get him back out in the open. Seavark is going to mosey over towards the eye anyway, just to make sure he has himself that advantage. Smoke looking for the sap. Can he do it? Does get himself the sap. That's actually perfect. Trinket out of Seavark. That is so ballsy. That trinket on sap. Normally, this is one of those rules you just learn whenever you start playing WoW for the first time. Never, and I mean ever, trinket a sap. And the only way you trinket a sap is if you absolutely, by every means necessary, know you're gonna win. Smoke just go for a bit of. He knows he's dead, right? Yeah. That's the only time you trinket a sap, is if you know you're gonna win. That's so good. And Lucifer is gonna be up next. That's a full mage combusting into you. Better have an answer. Got himself full waste. Shield of Vengeance burned through immediately. The man trying to see if he can be a little bit ahead of Seavark, going in for a port, maybe all the time. Blind over Seavark. Big hammer hanging over his head. Lucifer still taking a ton of damage. Maybe looking at an immunity right here, right now. That's still a lot of damage. Got himself the spell ward to Seavark. I don't know if you can just walk up and try to auto attack him or anything. I don't know if that's gonna do anything at all. Got himself the ultra time to at least reposition. Lucifer's back out in the open. Phoenix Flames Pyros. Just nothing you could do. Just absolutely nothing you could do. My goodness. Man. Loving it, dude. Rosie got two. I like that. Was able to pick up a little bit of damage of his own. Trigger the sap and ask it to be death sentence. Normally, yes. The only way you have to have just such confidence. The biggest balls out there to trinket a sap and just come back with a win after that one. It's just such a. Normally, what's been lodged in my brain is like an obvious rookie mistake. That's what I see it is just like, oh no. Oh no. The only way he would do that is because he actually means business. It's so good.